How's my hair?
And no signal. But we might have the audio here, so bear with us just a moment here, guys, as we get the video popped up here.
Oh.
Who's the camera?
That's the first time that's ever happened. I know what it is, but it's because I plugged the camera in before it was like the stream stuff was already up, and then I plugged the camera in.
Yeah.
So that's what the issue was. Also, I'm for some reason again not in focus here, and that's very annoying. But whatever. So I'm going to leave it out of focus here, and then fix it when we switch to everybody. But a couple of little announcements as usual. We do have our dice giveaway going on right now, which because it's out of focus, I have a solution. I'll switch it over to this other scene here, and these are the dice that you can win. So they are the Nebula Dark Blue and White dice. So they're here. And we're going to be doing the giveaway a little bit differently from what we normally do. So if you follow us on like all our social media accounts and stuff, you notice that we didn't post a giveaway link this week. Reason for that is the giveaway is now, for the weekly giveaways, going to be handled inside the Twitch chat. So you do have to be live viewing, active in the chat. We'll give you a keyword right when we go to our break. You'll put the keyword in, and that'll activate your entry. You only put it in once, and then otherwise you'll get disqualified if you put it in a bunch of times to avoid spam. So you put it in once, and then we come back from break, give you a little like, oh, we're about to draw it. So last minute people can get in on it, and then boom, draw it. So that is the first order of business. Secondly, regarding giveaways, we do have something in the works with a new partner of ours coming up at the beginning of next month. The first stream that we do in June, we will start a new live stream giveaway, and it'll be the beginning of a much larger giveaway as well that will culminate at the end of the month. So you'll have a chance to enter all throughout the month for the big one, and then you'll win a large prize at the end if you're the winner. So last thing, merch. So we of course always have our Roll This merch, the stuff with our logos on it that you guys have seen for weeks now at shop.rollthis.com. But now, due to extremely popular demand from our last couple of posts with people asking if they can buy the dice on our website, now you can buy dice on our website. If you go to shop.rollthis.com and then scroll down below the shirts and such, you'll actually see a selection of dice that we're starting with, and they are only $5.99, which is for a full set a really, really good deal. So we were able to work with the distributor and bring the price way down. So we're going to pass that on to you guys. So yeah, that is it. And yeah.
Yeah, we're shopping already. Sorry.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to switch over to the everyone scene here. Yeah, no, the crazy colored ones are just the purple and blue.
Mardi Gras.
They look cool.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
right, yeah.
Now that we're done drooling.
It's like we're all drooling over our own stuff on our own store. So again, shop.rollthis.com, scroll down. Also, if you search around for other things that may or may not be related to Dungeons and Dragons, you might find a couple of other things hiding on the website as well that you can order. So anywho, let's see. It's weird when I shrink down the image, it looks way more focused just automatically. So our jumping into tonight, a little recap on what happened last week. Everyone awoke at camp in the morning. Kalistrat's kind of in a bit of a dream state, walked off around a few trees away from camp and was ambushed while he was over there. He began to fight, and then some form of sorcerer put a spell upon him that caused him to become catatonic and in this weird, intense dream state where he was unable to tell if it was a dream or a reality. And then all of a sudden he realized it was real, and then he went back to a dream, and that happened. Then Bryn jumped around the corner, followed quickly by Maze to fight off his attackers, with one of them fleeing from the scene. The fight, whatever the word is for happened that I was looking for, happened, and then Kalistrat was grabbed by the sorcerer and dimension doored away. In the moment of the dimension door taking place, Maze and Bryn both attempted to dive through the portal and follow. However, Bryn was unsuccessful, and Maze made it. This gave her the opportunity to either continue fighting the sorcerer or to play a new card of showcasing herself as one that had aligned with the shadows as well, stabbing Kalistratz in the heart with her knife and using her necrotic energy to inflict even further damage to showcase her dark energies and powers. After this, the sorcerer removed his helmet and took on a stern but okay, welcoming type of fine, you check out, let's go type of appearance. They then traveled down through a plethora of tunnels leading deeper and deeper into the mountains before they came to a cave forest that was all dark and kind of wilted trees. They traveled through there, coming to the base of a massive drow city with ornate carvings all along of spiders and driders and drow figures, these all being very dark and menacing in appearance, matching the Drider's appearance from our previous episode where they had fought in Halfgren's home. They were taken through the city, Kalistratz and Maze, to a throne room deep inside the city. That is where we'll pick up with Bryn following along at the entrance of the cave after finally catching up and finding their scent. We'll start with Bryn. You're at the mouth of the cave, and you now have the opportunity to do anything you may want to do here, call for any kind of help you may want to try to find, knowing that you are on some form of timetable, not having any idea what transpired after Maze and Kalistratz disappeared. Or you could continue along the path and make your way towards whatever may be down the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that there's much cavalry to call. I mean, Kira's got her own business going on, I feel like. And I don't know that this is the right situation for, like, an assault. So, that being said, I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Smart idea. I checked your hit points just a minute ago.
Yeah, I saw that when I loaded up my page.
It's pretty red.
So I'm going to do that second level.
Ben's got some
That's
boobies.
2d8 plus 4. Well, that's not good. 9, I get at least. It's something.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an amount.
Yeah.
So you got 9 back?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll help. For a hit.
I still got slots for later, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I am going to actually, because I see a bunch of spiders around me and everything, right? I am going to wild shape into a giant spider.
I'm going to say, actually, at this moment, you only see a few small spiders here and there because you're still at the front of the cave. But, but yeah, so did you say giant spider or a standard size spider? Giant spider will obviously have a better range of movement.
Right.
Smaller spider, smaller and harder to see.
Let's see. I don't have a.
And you've seen a small spider, and we can just come up with hit points and stuff if that's something you want to go with. It's obviously not going to enhance you. It will diminish you, but it'll give you like 3 to 5, something like that. I was thinking 5 earlier for an AC and like 1 for a.
It's got 12 AC,
The
actually.
AC is actually pretty high because it's small.
That's fair.
So
yeah.
if like you're trying to hit a spider,
Right.
It says it's 12 AC for just a regular spider, but only 1 hit point.
Yeah. I thought it was 1 hit point. Yeah.
No, I want to be a giant spider because this is my last wild shape, and I want to be able to do things.
For sure. Yeah.
And it has higher AC anyway. There's no bonus to regular spider stealth as far as I can see anyway. So anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna be a giant spider and follow along. Just kind of stay to the shadows. Maybe.
Sorry, the music. It's not even translating to the stream again for some obnoxious reason, and that just does not fit with the scene.
Can't tell if
It's
it was
a
like
foreboding
the notes
atmosphere.
I mean, it was
or what
foreboding, but it was.
You're like,
it's foreboding, and like Spiders like playing the piano.
Right, yeah,
no
apparently.
8 legs.
That
We're really good
was-
at
Maybe
it.
a virtuoso.
Yeah, just no. I mean, it was the equivalent of it being like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, something obnoxious like that.
So I'm
But
gonna be slinking through shadows,
perfect.
hiding on ceilings and in corners, and just stealthing my way along this trail that hopefully I can still follow.
Okay, so do a tracking roll, which is whatever you know it is. I think
Survival?
Yeah. Yep, specifically.
Roll for speed.
20, not a nat.
Perfect. That's fine. So you won't have any trouble following the path, especially with the errant leaf you see as you do make your way through. You come to a multitude of areas where it branches off. But at each one of these points, you see a little leaf just a few feet down the correct way, as far as you assume. So you continue following that.
As we're walking along, have you just been like stuffing your pockets?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
constantly?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, haven't you heard her? Every time
well,
every
anything
time
happens,
there's a
she
tree,
talks
man.
about
But like,
grabbing
this is a lot of leaves.
she does.
It is.
So it's not like a trail, but you know, in important
Enough for you to pick
intersections.
from.
Yeah, enough
You-
to
you
not
smell one.
seem like a clear trail.
You smell when you're like,
Um,
oh, gray.
So as you continue down, now I'm going to have you do a stealth roll.
That one's a 21.
Okay. Then,
Hopefully my good rolls from last week are still...
I know, man.
right, yeah, hopefully. So you are very stealthy. Roll perception for me. And yes, this is a lot of rolls, but it makes the most sense for this.
That one's only a 12. My
mean,
passive,
all those
my
eyes?
passive is 14.
Didn't you have
Okay.
But
like web sense? Or no, you'd have to.
Okay, well,
I mean,
regardless,
I do have dark vision and blind sight.
Mhm.
So
Regardless, as you come up to one of the last intersection before the path seems to level out, you do see a small group of goblins. There are 3. They all 3 of them are specifically hiding, and what you see is their eyes, all wide and scared of you. This area not being known for giant spiders in this far away from the city, unless they are coming out to hunt or something of that nature. So they are trying to hide from you. Are you going to do anything or ignore them?
no, I'm just gonna ignore them.
Okay.
I feel
So
like fighting goblins.
here's where you will come into an interesting space. So as you have traveled through for a good hour or so, easily at this point, because of it being such a long path down, you're not, oh, hey, I walked into a cave, boom, here's a city, wow. No, so you walked for hours, even in this massive spider form that does give you enhancement to your speed. You are greeted suddenly by a massive opening that then just shoots high to the ceiling that you cannot even see at this point. So you know that there must be some kind of roof above this, some type of cavern top, but there's no light source, so you can't get beyond that. Ahead of you, there is a forest of black-trunked, dark maroon leaves, similar to what was in Morelia's house. However, these are all wilted, with no light emanating from them in any capacity. It seems very, like, barely hanging on. So they're still existing, still growing, but obviously not at the rate they would with proper care. So as you come up to it, you see a main path that leads through this jungle of trees up to a dark gray walled city with a multitude of little purple lights, flame lights shining along the edges of it, lighting out from it towards the jungle itself. This is about 2 miles away, like right at the edge of your vision. You can see how large this is, but you're not immediately upon it. There's still jungle between you and the space, but there is one very clear path that leads directly through it. Are you going to just continue along the path?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep following the trail. Spider on a mission.
Conveniently, as you do notice with your perception, just your passive perception, you do notice multiple drow that are placed kind of as sentries. You see them kind of crouched up in the trees, looking down, watching you pass curiously, but not interfering in any capacity. As you come to the gates, they are closed. How would you choose to deal with that?
Can I just like climb over the wall?
Do you want to try to climb over the wall? You're welcome to. You're welcome to make that attempt.
That makes me feel like I shouldn't.
That is maybe the point.
Yeah.
So clearly gate, no spiders past it.
So there's you during this whole. This is easy enough. During this whole journey, you haven't seen any other giant spiders. I've seen a couple small spiders, and you have not entered the city, so you don't know what's inside behind the wall yet.
Gotcha.
And you're, for sake of relevance, 300 yards away from the front. So you're football field away, 100 yards away. So you're football field away, 300 feet. So you can see it. Anybody that was there would be able to see you if they actually were looking. You don't feel as if any threat is specifically imminent at the moment.
And I still see the trail going.
And the trail goes right up to the thing. Like you're close enough to where you would you're looking up to look to the top, basically.
Try the gate, and if it doesn't open, just go up over.
Is that this, or is that a dog outside?
There is an actual
Okay,
dog
it's a dog
outside.
outside. I thought it was like the music or something. Use this
Could also just be a
nebula
random
die.
person being weird.
Honestly.
That's the goblin warning call.
Okay. Is there a? Do you any of you know if there's a table of random things that a guard could do to somebody? Because
No table
Like an
that.
action of what they can
There's an
do?
imagination.
yeah, there is. However, I don't want to just be like, oh, that's a good idea. I'll do that. And
What would the guards of Skyrim do?
anything.
Must have been the wind.
Stop.
right.
Talk about.
Oh,
their
he's there.
lives.
Must have been the wind.
Okay.
Something sweet roll.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well, I
which
rolled a
do they-
natural 20
Oh, they did
on
not
my
steal your
nebula
sweet-
die.
sweet roll.
So
What? You're just rolling the roll?
I was rolling to see what would happen as you attempted to open the gate. And sure, I could have just said, over 10 is it doesn't open, under 10 is it does open, which is what I was originally thinking, but it was a natural 20. So I feel like something else should happen. But as you...
Catch your-
Throw some seasoning
I
on
go through
that.
the gate just fine, and we save Maze and kill.
The end.
The end.
Roll a d20.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a roll on.
We're going to see if something weird happens.
Wait, did he just walk up there and
He got a
stand?
nat 20.
Did you actually?
Are you serious?
Holy
He did
shit.
not touch it.
Yeah, he
So
did.
this is not even like in the moment. I actually thought this and then said I'm going to make him roll, and if he rolls a nat 20, he gets this. God. In your spider form,
Wow.
as you come up to the gates, you press up against them, and it's like they're not even there. You just... And you walk straight through it
Illusory?
as a spider. So they are not illusory gates, but because of the spider form that you've taken on, you have free reign in this realm.
Oh, it's like Kate.
Doors are irrelevant to you as a spider at this point, as far as you're aware.
Cool.
So the gates are open to you. You enter in, seeing a multitude of other spiders, none of which are your size. They are all at largest, this sounds obnoxious, but this is the space, at largest about dog-sized. They are grotesque and terrifying, but they are not the size of a horse or larger that you are.
Is that how big I am?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
You're quite large.
You're a rideable spider.
Yeah, you are basically a rideable spider at this point.
They're not kidding when they say giant.
Yeah, exactly. And all of the spiders you see are of a shining black widow type appearance, minus the actual symbol on the back. All of them are completely black, glossy, with fangs, bulbous back end, spindly, sharp legs, almost appearing armored in some
I'm
way.
probably more like a wolf spider.
You are more of like a wolf spider at this moment.
So I stand out worse than if I was just me.
No, not even remotely as bad as a human prancing in with a staff in his hand, just going, "What up, guys?" Yeah, no, you wouldn't have made it through the jungle. Yeah, with a torch at that.
Right.
He's good with those.
The city itself is very well constructed, even out here by the walls, which just common structure as has been described to you from Halfgren and others. Out closer to the walls would typically be a lower class or a merchant area, not high class part of town in any common structure that you've been aware of previously. This, however, is all nice. As far as you can see ahead, everything in here is well maintained. It's all well cut. Everything has this uniform appearance to it. Everything kind of looks the same as you go. It's almost disorienting just because it doesn't change, but your perspective changes the farther out you look.
The whole city was just designed from the ground up.
Very specifically designed, yes. But you do see in the center, or what you imagine to be...
Any stories or anything about this place?
Roll a history check.
19.
19. You've heard rumors before of a drow city that was... the rumors were more of a warning not to venture too deep into the tunnels, the cloud spires, on this side of the Aran River, because of a settlement known as Damaskarania, which is a central city, like capital of the Underdark Drow. You're aware of the existence of Sun Drow, per se, that would be not Underdark. So the Underdark specifically is underneath the mountains, whereas there are settlements of Drow that are more common to elves, just to standard elves, where they are on the surface. Surface, that was the word I was looking for a minute ago. Why did that not come to me? They're on the surface and they trade and such like that. However, they do typically, through magical means, keep their skies darkened because it is easier on their eyes and so forth. But this is, Damaskarania is the capital city of the Underdark. It's a very dangerous place for someone who is not Drow. Very few that are able to walk right in without some form of access being given to them through some kind of specific means, such as proving themselves to be one of the shadow by stabbing their compatriot in the heart.
Or being a giant spider.
Right. Or being a giant spider. Or being someone that was being hunted unawares themselves.
Like, just some random dude.
Some guy.
That everyone wants, I guess.
Everyone wants a piece of kale.
Right? Everyone but one elven woman.
We'll see.
The night is young.
I've only met once.
We'll see. That's true. They've only met once.
Yes.
But we all know.
Her charm hasn't had time to seep in yet.
As the winter cold, it takes its hold slowly. So
I'm through the gate.
you are through the gate. You're seeing the city, and at that moment, I'll give you some time to think of yourself. You've just passed through, and we're breaking away from you at that point. You two, moment, Kale is still semi-conscious. Your full faculties are not back to you. You are aware of what's going on around you, but you, even
Not
with your
paralyzed,
you
I can move, but I can't.
you can
I'm in a
move,
fog.
but you don't like. You're in a funk, but you're not really being. You don't feel aggressive, but the fact that you don't feels almost
So
confusing.
I feel like sedated.
Kind of sedated, passivized, that
Right,
kind of thing. You do with your knowledge of things, you do know that you are under some form of spell or means of control.
Right. Who has my sword?
Maze.
That's right.
Yep. Just on my back.
So
carrying
she's
you.
affixed it to her back.
Just dragging it off the
Did
ground.
they
Using
use
as you
the
walk.
other weapon I have equipped, or have they?
Nope, we did not.
Good.
You were
Say
not
technically, so you have another weapon
He
that
does.
we're gonna have to
It's a
like
glitch.
discuss or something because there's no way that somebody didn't see that. But the
It's equipped. It's
Yeah.
on him.
Yeah.
yeah, I thought about
I don't think-
unequipping it just
I don't think
through
you've used
either
that yet.
means.
No,
So
it's my sidearm.
the Warhammer is your sidearm. So they've seen and confiscated the Warhammer. However, your dagger is still hidden amongst your person. Because you do have that as well. Because the dagger being hidden was a 6. The other being seen was a 6. And being seen for the Warhammer, which had a super low DC, and would basically have
was
had
on
to have
my
been
hilt.
magical.
It was on my hilt. Like, great sword here. Warhammer here.
You know how big a
Dagger
Warhammer is?
somewhere. No, they're not that big. They're one-handed. You're thinking of a mole.
No, there's debates, but we'll have the debate later.
on the break, yeah.
But
we'll have that.
yeah, I'll show you. I know what you're talking about, though. That's not a Warhammer. That's a Warhammer, but a different variant of it. Standard Warhammer is like a greatsword. It's like this big
Right, that would make it.
with a
That
pole
would make
arm
it two-handed.
end to it. Mhm.
But this has one-handed and two-handed damage, so it's the previous. It's the
So
smaller
does your
version.
greatsword.
No, it only has the two-handed damage.
Anyway.
Which
Figure
I
that out
learned
later.
last week I can wield.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So Maze did find out that she does
didn't
have
actually
the ability to
decent.
wield martial weapons of any
Yeah.
kind.
It does say this is only 2 pounds.
So yeah.
The hammer?
That's
Which is actually
interesting.
really good dragon board.
Okay. Well, regardless, they found it and taken
They
it away.
did find it. It's
Poor
not
little-
Yeah, right.
small.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not small,
It's
but
big.
it is. It's like the
It's
size.
an
easy to
old
find.
hammer.
You're not
If it's
sticking that
2
in the
pounds,
pocket.
it's the size of a short sword. So it's the kind of hammer
Right.
I'm thinking of that
Right.
was the one you were actually thinking of initially.
Right, yeah.
That's the wrong name for it, though. But it's the right name in the D&D books. So
Whatever.
yeah, so 2 pounds, it's the size of like a short sword, basically. So yeah, it would be apparent, but could have been
So
concealed
a
in a cloak or
double-sided
something.
smacking device.
Like if it was just in the
Got it.
pattern.
Yeah,
weird.
exactly. But that is
Fighting skeletons, gotta have the right
no
tool.
longer on your person, but your dagger
It's
is.
gone.
Wow, somebody else should have rewatched the last episode before we started. I don't remember if you were addressed when you were you addressed when you came into the chamber by anybody, or
Yeah.
did you guys just walked in, spoke to the guard at the gate?
We talked to the guard. They talked to him, and he said she's with us, and then that's it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
We
That's where I
passed.
thought we were
Like, you
because
got to the
obviously I've played out
There's a
what
lot
happens
going
next
on, yeah.
so much in my head that I've already done this 4 or 5 times. So perfect. So as you come in, you are continued to be led up a long flight of stairs. Both of you still carrying Caleb Strats. Not actually make a perception check. See if you
Okay.
notice whether or not he is more conscious than he was.
2 pounds lighter.
Oh, it's cocked. It's like, okay, let's not go with the big one because it's like it's hitting the side. 10. Oh, just a straight up roll?
Perception.
Oh, perception. I think that's only +1. Yeah, so 11.
Okay, yeah, as long as it wasn't minus, you would be fine. So you've noticed that Kale's kind of like got his eyes open and looking around.
So Maze can feel that, right?
You can see that.
I can see that.
Actually, you can't really see very well though because it's extremely dim in here.
It's dark.
dark.
It's not like
I'm
pitch
not
dark.
in a good
No,
place,
it's
really.
it's not pitch dark. There are lights, but they are very dim lights. So you can see, but it's like that moment when the sun's setting and you're like, yeah, I can still kind of see, but you kind of can't. Like if you're in the woods and the sun's going down.
They start putting down the lights in the movie theater. It's like
right,
halfway through
right before it's gone.
halfway through that. That's where.
Exactly, yeah.
Is it possible that Maze can, because it's done with touch, that I could put guidance on him? It's something that he can roll a d4 for an ability check without them noticing.
Are you asking if it's possible for them to not notice you do
Yeah,
it?
I just, because I'm already holding him, and it's by touch.
What was the spell again?
Guidance. It's an at-will touch
it's a
concentration. Although it says I touch one willing creature, I mean, he's unconscious. By law, that's probably not willing.
It's not necessarily unwilling either. But once before the spell ends, target can roll d4.
Although it would only last a minute, so...
check his choice.
Yeah, I'll hold off on that.
wise.
No, it won't do it.
Let's just wait.
Yeah, we'll wait. Cancel. I thought it was going to stay on him. That way he could try to break his thing, but...
You would most likely have been noticed anyways, looking at stats. So probably best you didn't.
Yeah.
Because that would have caused an interesting kerfuffle with guards behind you, this individual here with you, and who knows what else in front
and
of
then
you.
Maze starts thinking of dancing spiders again.
Maze, the death of us all.
Yes.
Maybe that's what this episode will be titled. So you walk in through the gates here to the central palace of this city. You are led up a large staircase, through another set of doors. No words are spoken at this point, just a nod and a access granted kind of thing. You've made it in this far and have been allowed to be here. You're led down a long columned marble interior, very, very beautiful space that is also extremely expensive in appearance. This is definitely a central palace. You being not really aware of that, actually, if you want to, you can roll history to see if you are aware of the actual name and stuff.
A 9.
No. So you don't know like that this is a central city, but from your experiences elsewhere, this feels like a capital city to you. Like you are in the palace of a very high-end ruler, a king or a queen of some kind, which is your suspicion is then proven as you are taken into a throne room. There is a dais set up high above, about 6 feet above you, that is ornamented with, could be ordained, actually probably is, but in a dark way. Anyways, so it's got more sculptures all along it. This time, though, they're all spider formed. So the base of it and then the next tier of it, that base, the edges, it's kind of recessed slightly behind. So it like goes up, flattens, and up again about 3 feet each time. And then in that, there's just a multitude of the spiders that you saw as you were walking into the city. All of them are this shining black, and it gives you this image of not being entirely sure if they are actually alive or if they're just part of a sculpture. For a brief second, you actually feel like maybe you saw one move a little bit. You're not sure if it's just the stress of the situation or if it actually happened. The throne itself is kind of this melted mass of blackened metal at the base that comes up and then smooths out and branches over with a multitude of spider legs kind of curling up over the top of it. In the center is a spider's head above, and and then it has these like rubies set into each of its eyes, and behind that you see the figure of a female, like statued behind, of a full drow female, but again a statue, kind of all as one massive piece of artwork that is also a throne as well. And sitting upon it, there is a drow female. She has jet black, like the most black of black that you can imagine, akin to the spider's skin. Her hair is stark white, the whitest white you can imagine. And her eyes are red all the way through, completely red, and glowing slightly in this space as she looks at you. You can tell even while sitting that she's very tall. She's very well clothed. On her head is semblance of the same throne, a spider crown wrapping around, with the back of the legs coming up over the head of the spider, sitting central on her head, and then the arms coming forward over the top. She looks towards you, confused as to why you're here. Looks to Kale, and inspecting as you guys walk in, looking past the leader of your group. And then she looks to him, his mask still off, affixed to his hanger. There's a bandolier is what it basically is, but it's a spot specifically meant to hang this helm, which is just the front half of it that he's removed. The rest of it, you could even noticed as you kind of watched him as you went, the rest of the helmet almost seems to be like built into the back of his head. Like it's the metal you've seen is kind of curled and poking into him as he walks, but the hood is mostly kept over that. But every once in a while, a breeze would kind of blow it just enough before he adjusted it that you would see that. And it has these spots where the front of it clips onto that. He steps up, begins to set Kale down, lay him down on his back. Are you going to close your eyes by chance or keep them open?
I'm keeping them open.
Okay. So he notices this as he sets you down, and Maze, are you following suit?
I am
and sitting down
following
as well?
Roland. Yeah.
Both of you set him down. He looks at that and and he keeps watching you, but turns towards the throne and bows down.
Maze bows as well.
Okay. Then she addresses, as both of you are still bowed. Who is this that has joined you? Speak for yourself.
I am Mazakin, known as Maze. I am a tiefling that come from Kazesh. When I met this gentleman, I thought my family might have sent him, for the armor was very similar.
Who is your family?
They are now, according to a vision, the current ruler of Kazesh. Were previously advisors to the previous king.
Make a not deception check, but like a
some
kind of like a charisma. Make a charisma check. We're gonna see just kind of how it's not really persuasion, but it's kind of persuasion. So we'll go with that.
So we're going with what?
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Which is charisma based, 17. So it's the same. That's what I said. 17.
Yeah.
So you are now royalty, then, it would seem.
Does seem that way. If the crystal ball thingy is true.
As they sometimes aren't.
May I ask, do you know of what happened in Kazesh?
I am well aware. There has been a change of hands. However, the newcomers do not quite have your same appearance, from what I have seen.
Yes.
Let's see.
That face.
That's my nat 20 face.
Oh, man.
20's everywhere tonight.
Yeah.
Except for here, man.
Right.
It's
Well, one of you, the one that really needed it. What proof do you have that you are an ally of ours?
And I wave to the dragonborn that I just stabbed with the heart with
Not
my
with
sword
her.
to take his life force for my own.
Zakai, what can you say of this one? He kind of begrudgingly responds, she checks out. She proved herself, and she has dark energy. So be it. And you notice, actually roll a perception check.
Okay. Is this 6? That's probably a 7.
You notice a slight glint in one of her eyes. That's about it. Well, you are welcome to stay here. Not here, per se, but within the city. There is a space for travelers that are on our side in this war. And you, Zakai, will take this one down to the dungeons with the other. We'll see what we do with him. Understood. And he stands up and picks Strats up and starts to just kind of
Drag.
put
I mean,
him
'cause
up over
that's
his
a
shoulder.
really
No,
big body.
this guy is insanely strong. So like
Okay.
he is, his figure looks like one of the two of you. He
he's
looks
small.
thin, like one of the two of you here in person. He looks
He's got
thin, but
resurgent
he's
strength.
extremely
Plus
strong.
4.
And he just picks you up kind of over a shoulder. And in this moment, you
This is-
realize that you
didn't have
weren't
to
really needed
Carry.
as you went.
That's so strong.
And she just kind of motions towards the door.
May as well bow. You have a very beautiful city. I look forward to exploring it more.
Be careful where you go.
The
Are
little
those-
spiders are adorable, by the way.
You're a bell ring.
Yes, I do. Ding.
And
That's the nat 20 roll. This sounds.
an older
Next.
looking drow male steps forward, holding himself upright, very pious looking. And he comes up beside you and, home now, let's go. And he ushers you along.
Okay.
I will show you where the inn is. This is Queen Spoke.
Ooh, I hope they get some tea.
I'm sure they have some form of sustenance there. And how long will you be staying here with us?
Just enough to get rested up. I mean, with the turn of events, I probably feel I must go back to my family.
Good.
Get out of our seat.
And he and as you guys exit the
Welcome
throne room and step back out to the front door, basically not to the gate but to the door, he hands you one small parchment, which, as you look at it, it's just a small letter, but basically gives you the ability to be here.
Okay.
In essence, it's a clearing from the queen.
Temporary citizenship.
Exactly,
a
it's
little
that. It is
share
that type
sticker.
of
We
thing.
call those
Yeah.
visas.
Yeah, no,
It's
no.
very, very similar to something of that nature. And then he shows you a map.
It's not a credit card.
And as he shows you the map, he points from where you are towards the gates and near the gates there is a space that is an inn that he designates.
Okay.
So you'll go back down the main area, and there will be a spot to your right, basically. So he leads you out the door, shuts it behind you, and you're now in the city.
Huh.
Everyone on their own.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
You
Is the other half-breed?
yes. Like I don't even know how to make you
Like,
roll for that.
why be
yes.
cagey about that?
So I guess I could have just said wait and find out, but you will find out very quickly in essence. So
I'm astute.
you
I mean, that's
are
what my vision was
Yeah.
the
kind
cave.
of
It was, the ring.
pretty far off from the. Oh yeah, your new vision, your dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
You're in the dream.
The
yeah,
dream,
not
absolutely. The vision, no, not even remotely. The dream, yes, this is
too.
exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get taken down, Caleb Stratz. You're led down this dark hallway, down a winding staircase. It continues on for what feels like an age and a half before you come to one set of doors that is all like a dark steel, carved with a multitude of runes across them. Roll a perception check.
Am I able to speak?
So perception check on this one first,
Right.
and then we'll roll off to see whether or not you've gained back any abilities versus his hold on you. 14.
Mhm.
So you see, since he still is not wearing the mask, you can see his eye, especially because your head's basically right here. Out of the corner of your eye, you see him kind of as he steps towards this door. And if you would like to roll against me to see
Ooh.
what
Sounds like
happens
them
there,
fighting words there.
as to whether or not you can speak specifically.
Just standard
Yeah, just straight roll.
18.
Okay. Together we got a 20. So you are able to speak.
Your queen's pretty.
Looks over now at this maw of teeth speaking to him directly beside his face.
Are we adventuring with a horny lizard?
No.
She is not my queen.
Is she your goddess?
She serves my master. And he pushes the gates open.
It's a pretty city you got here. Bit of a spider problem.
It's not my city.
Not your city. Where are you from?
Nowhere you would know.
I've been all over the place.
You would not have survived my city. He brings you up to a door at the end of the hallway that is, again, you've passed multiple jail cells, your typical bars to the ceiling to floor. This, at the end of the hall, is another door, except for instead of being a double door, it's a single door that is like a dark kind of paneled metal. It almost looks like a wood, but it's definitely metal. It has a multitude of runes carved all the way around the top of it, and then straight down each center piece of these boards. Up at the top of it, there is a kind of window space that is barred, and around all of the bars, there are a multitude of runes carved into them as well. He walks up, and two guards kind of step forward out of the shadows, regard him, and one opens the lock. The other pulls the door back, and you see the one that had opened the lock step back and reach his left hand towards his sword, looking into the dark space in front of him. Then the Zakai takes you and just throws you in there.
Ugh.
As you pass through it, you feel free. instantly free. Like you are completely back to
Good
yourself.
to go. Limbs full range of motion.
And then as
Voice is
you
back to
fully
normal, by
pass
the way.
through, you feel as if you hit the ground and kind of slide. It's a cold ground. And you feel like something's missing. Some part of yourself is not there. But
Oh, that hole in my chest.
it might very well be.
Blood.
But you feel like you have full range of movement. You can speak now. As you turn back towards the door, it's shut.
Is there like a slot?
Like
I
a
could say,
boot slot type
like
of
a
thing.
one last thing.
Oh, there's a window, so yeah.
You know, you're probably right about not surviving your city. I've died twice already. But I always come back.
You know nothing. And you just hear him just walk away. And then silence.
So,
Bryn.
Oh, yeah. Bryn.
Or Maze,
No, sorry.
actually.
I have a sword, and I went with my newfound, royalty and this little cute little paper that says I'm a citizen here.
You're a permitted individual here.
Yes.
To be clear.
That's a rite of passage.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is a drow-only
citizenship.
city.
I mean, I am still.
Like-
Oh God, I have no way of hiding his sword because his sword would be giant to me, right? It's not like
Not
a
giant.
I mean, it's
Great
a
swords
great
are
sword, so
big,
it's
but-
like
Is it
5
possible-
feet from pommel to
because
tip.
I mean,
Yeah.
how Maze
But-
has that cloak and feathers and stuff. Could I put if it's on my back under the cloak? Would it be
Your
noticeable?
tail would look stiff.
I mean, because I have it.
Yes, it would be. You're not large enough to hide it.
Not large enough to hit
entirely.
it. Okay. Well, Maze basically would like to try to find a way to go down to the prisoner and pretty much just one last word to him before he dies.
Hand him
What
a
is your
sword.
method for attempting to accomplish this? Because you are
I'm still new, yeah.
you are outside of the gate of the palace. There are guards there. Are you gonna
so
ask if you can go in and see the
pretty
prisoners?
much, Maze will ask, and yeah, it's like I
Terrible idea. I love it. I love it.
I am like I have this where it's like, if at all possible, and I go to a guard, I would like to taunt the prisoner one last time. He has put me through so much, and I just really want to destroy his lovely, lovely shiny sword in front of him before he goes. I mean, Maze's eyes are probably glowing just to like, hey, here,
The queen has allowed you here, but we will not be allowing you back in the gate. Begone.
Okay.
He looks like he looks at you like you are, as you kind of are, insane.
Yes.
Like
I
Maze
believe in
is
so
mildly
well.
crazy, but
Yeah.
like this guard is looking at you like that is the most absurd thing he has ever heard in his entire life. And he's very much like you see the rest of them are all standing like statues kind of scenario, very much like Queen's Guard style.
Yeah.
And so just to, one, be addressed, and two, to have that be the question asked, very much just a no, by no means kind of response. So no, you are not allowed back in.
Is that the... I look at that map. Is it a detailed map?
So you didn't get to keep the map. You were shown your direction.
Okay.
So you were shown that the main path down, and then just inside the gates, off to one direction of the street, there was
'cause I was gonna
an
say there's
inn
another way down.
specifically for this. Now it's just the main road.
Okay.
So are you going to try to do anything nefarious here, or will you be traveling towards that space? It's up to you. There are options. but-
Yeah, I'm just going to wander as
Do what
close
you
as I can
want.
to try to find another way in. Like, last time I had a magical white mouse show up.
I'm just sitting here like, just trying to break into places.
I know, I should have been there.
Time to multi-class.
Although, actually, I'm a little hurt. No, I
doesn't
take that
take
back.
no
I
for
need
an
to
answer.
somehow, do a rest or something, like a short rest, so I could get some abilities back.
I'm honestly not trying to say go to the inn, but
You want
You
me
know
to-
where you could rest? Like, I don't
Yeah,
care
I
where you
know.
go, but like what you just said, a good spot to rest typically in most fantasy settings
Yeah.
is an inn.
I'll go to the
Been
inn.
given directions
I was
to it
trying not
and
to.
explicit permission.
I know.
The
I was
queen or
all for
whoever.
like the idea that you had
there.
just proposed of like, you know, maybe there's something with Lumora
Yeah,
that
there's kind of like I was
happens.
starting to go like, oh wait,
maybe
one last thing.
maybe you can like search around for a little bit and we pick up with Bryn and see what he's
No,
doing.
I just looked at all the spells I
But-
burned. I need spells badly,
Yeah,
so
let's,
I'm gonna go drink some juice at the end.
Let's let that happen then. So
May stops trying to break things
Okay.
and goes,
needs food bad.
yes, great game.
Perfect. Okay, so you make your way towards the inn. Bryn, what in the world are you going to do?
Yeah, that's a good question. Have you are you still scattering leaves, or is it just lead to the palace, or
Like
wherever
it
that
would have
was?
been to the palace. I would have had no way to like, you know, other than tuck a few leaves on him and hope you can smell them. And that's pretty much it.
Huh.
Or
Yeah.
but at
I
that
don't
point,
know
he
this-
might as well just try to smell me.
Right.
Like,
Well,
yeah.
he could smell the leaves. Yeah,
Actually, you could do that. But,
he could.
I don't know,
Like,
the spiders
regardless.
are known for their sense of
No,
smell.
not spiders, but in general,
Yeah.
you would have a
mean,
way
it's
to make that
maze.
happen.
I sprinkle
After-
leaves on
Yeah.
him regardless. Like, oh, he's going. Okay, leaves are sprinkled on him, and then we parted our ways.
So you've killed him now. You are dead to me.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye. And then I walk off with a shiny sword.
This is vicious. The amount of betrayal here. Like, I
just over
feel
here.
this.
I'm just over here like, cool.
You're just stuck.
That's wild.
So I'm still just right in the gate.
You're right in the gate. So this is the moment you've stepped through. You've like, whoa, I
right.
just was able to do that. What? This is a nice place. Good grief. And here we are.
I don't know that.
Is he in the
I
city?
think my only.
Yeah, one, he's in a city, which
Yeah.
I forgot. You're,
You're around.
Not used to.
yeah, very much not.
I've been in a grand total of 1 so far.
Yeah, technically, yeah, because every other time you were on the outskirts.
He
Yeah,
is
I mean, I
lost.
guess I'm just gonna keep following the trail best I can for now.
Okay.
And Maze hopes to see. Like, would I see a
Actually-
giant spider?
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a delay between your tracking, and then there was time you were in the palace, and then you've all come back. So, really, at this point, you would be closer than halfway towards the front, and so about a quarter of the distance from the gate to the palace. You see Maze walking down the street.
And I noticed a giant spider. I would see his markings before because he's been that.
I've been a
That's
giant
right,
spider
and it is.
before.
There is unique markings as well.
I just kind of like jabber as much as I can as a spider and like find a dark alley nearby.
So you're gonna make a bunch of noise as a spider, like.
Yeah, just try and get like
And yeah, I will notice and
like
walk
get her
over.
attention.
Maze being her
You're just,
psychotic
like,
self. You're like,
with your front-
aw. You want to play fetch?
Just
Maze pulls out the sword and is like, let's play fetch. And then just starts walking because I'm just clearly insane.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't pull the sword out in the middle of town at a spider.
Well, like, it's
In this city.
I don't have a stick. If I had a stick, wait, I
just
have a
gonna-
torch.
You've been arrested for brandishing. Charged with brandishing,
this like a bustling
brandishing and
city?
assault.
Are there like people about?
It's a very specific type of city. So like everybody is doing something for a purpose. We're not just here to hang out.
Yeah, then
You know,
there's
there's not.
Fascism.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot like that. It really is.
Pretty fascist sounding.
And
time
you know,
just
every
dab on the street
yeah,
corner.
everybody has their job. They're not out. There's no town crier telling you the news or anything like that. It's very quiet overall. You do
doesn't
hear
sound
kind of a little music here and there, just playing through the city, but nothing particularly happy or particularly exciting in any nature.
Just the sounds of
It's all like
activity.
Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, there's a little
like,
activity, but it's definitely not bustling, and everything is very well ordered and very like, you know, people are walking in a line kind of thing, and then break off to go down this street that they need to go down, and so on and so forth. There's not like carts and such going down. There's not a market that you're aware of at this time, anything of that nature. You've smelled like cooking here and there, which is the only mildly pleasant thing that you gather from here, other than the fact that it, in a different space, maybe with different coloring or something, it would be a very beautiful city. It is a very beautiful city, but in a very dark way.
Right.
So, but the only
In a
good
less
thing you've
stressful
noticed so
situation.
far is the smell of the food. So,
But yeah, basically, I just want to find like a secluded area
yeah.
to
There's alleys all
morph
over the
back
place.
and
So,
talk to these.
so you've got her attention and attempted to enter an alley. Make a actually both of you stealth roll.
Oh gosh. I rolled a 9. I don't know if you add. Oh wait, 10.
Okay. Oh, you guys are so lucky. A 1, a 6, and a 9. But what was yours?
10.
Yours was a 10, and you just straight after everything?
I rolled a 2.
Specifics, let's see. Wow, you rolled a 2. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you feel like you're probably okay. As you kind of make your motion off and both of you move at the same time.
Do I notice if anyone noticed him? Because he went in before me.
Roll perception.
I need to stop rolling this giant dice.
2.
7.
Oh.
No, it was a 6.
Okay. Yeah, no, you don't notice anybody. You feel like you two have
So I'll just go.
not been noticed. Like you're secluded and it's just the two of you kind of thing. Yeah.
So Maze would like to walk in, and once I'm sure we're far enough into this alley, I would like to turn around and cast darkness in the alley. It's the cube that was used against us. Just black cube of darkness. So if someone were to look in this alley, no light would pass through it. It just looked like it's a really dark alley.
Non-magical light wouldn't pass through it.
Essentially go back into the alley,
Yeah. I know.
cast
I know
it
exactly
somewhere
what
as like a
you're
nice
saying.
wall of cover. Trying to Harry Potter cloak this.
I'm currently internally struggling with the yes and mentality and the well technically mentality as well. Spreads around corners but not through walls, so that's interesting. And because 15-foot radius, I mean that would have potentially just gone into somebody's house if it went through things. So I was
but
checking
it
that,
does
so
not.
it doesn't do that. It goes
Yeah.
around things, and it would be far enough back. And probably not really lit in the first place. Yeah, you could do that.
I am cats using it just
Okay.
to hide us.
Okay, perfect. You guys are now completely hidden, and you can see nothing. I think at this. Yeah, neither one of you can see
Yeah,
anything.
until we
you
walk.
can't
Like
even see
I want to
anything.
cast it behind us.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So okay, sweet.
So he would see just black
Yep.
wall.
Perfect. Okay. Yep. So you've done that. It's still quite dark in here though, so you're fine. But
He should be fine as a spider.
as a spider, you're fine too
But
if you're staying. But
I would say I'm not. 'Cause
Yeah.
the whole
Yes.
purpose is
so
to have
as you go back,
conversation.
Yeah.
you will be very,
top
very
spider.
dim, like kind of light.
Right.
But you know what you've intended to have happen here. As the two of you meet up and you are thrown into a cell, that's where we're going to take our break.
Yeah.
So,
I think I know the word that you were looking for. As
which one?
Beautiful, but in a very overwhelming but dark way.
Yeah. Oh, I rolled another 20.
Sublime.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, in a way.
Sublime.
Anyways, for those of you that are watching, if you would like to have your shot at winning these dice, which you'll see a better picture here in just a moment when you go to the BRB screen.
Not the sublime.
If you would like to have a shot at winning those, the key word for tonight is going to be ice. Because they're ice dice. So,
Nice.
Baby.
Giveaway.
so go ahead and type ice. It's not case sensitive. Just type that in the Twitch chat, and you will get entered in for a chance at winning that. And we'll be back here in roughly 10 minutes or so, and we'll draw the winner at that time. So see you shortly. good timing on that cough. Like right beforehand. That was
It was
perfect.
intentional.
And then, of course, I called it out so that everybody actually still knows you coughed. So, anyways, though, we're back.
Still a secret.
So, we are doing our drawing now for the giveaway. So, those dice that you just saw in that little video thing there, the ones that, I guess I'll show you again off this scene, look like this. Those ones. Those are the ones we are giving away right now. They are the Nebula Dark Blue and White. And if you are in our Twitch chat right now and you are based in the United States, due to shipping and giveaway laws and stuff like that, go ahead and put ICE in the chat. And you've got a couple of seconds to do that if you've missed it at this point. And then we'll be swinging over here and hitting the button. So we'll do like 3, 2, 1. Wait for the Twitch delay to go through, which is longer than I thought because I actually have the stream pulled up right here so I can have the chat up for this. And now we've got the delay covered. And so we roll it. And Dizzy Tuna.
Dizzy too.
Congratulations. You have actually been here since April, so awesome. I didn't know it would tell me that, but it did. So thanks for the continued support. You have now won yourself this set of dice.
Is it chicken or is it fish? Just kidding, it's the winner.
What? Okay. Also, I happen to have chat up right now. I don't have any idea why Nightbot thinks it has the authority to block out all caps. We're going to get that fixed very quickly. Sorry for the disheartening, like, oh, you win. No, you can't talk. That's not on purpose, I promise. Actually annoys me that took place. So I'll get that fixed. But congratulations on winning. Yeah, I'll get those. I'll get an email out to you right after the stream within an hour or two afterwards. And just respond within the next 48 hours or so after you receive it, and then we'll get your shipping information for that and send them out to you. So, diving right back in here. Oh, also, I just randomly happened to still have the chat up because of the giveaway. Thank you for the bits there, Alithnul. Appreciate that. Let's see here. Get these pulled back up over here. All right. So, in an alleyway, we have a spider morphing back into a druid human and a pale white tiefling meeting.
It's demorphin time.
Yeah, not as fun going back the other way.
Right? Yeah.
I know, man. It doesn't sound as cool. How did you make it in here? Did the spider thing work?
Yeah, somehow. Your
Did you
leaves
talk to
provided
the
a good trail.
Guards?
Not so much with words.
How'd you get through the door?
They're a little pulpy now.
I had a guy lead me through.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. What happened? What happened after you went through the door?
I thought I was gonna die and I panicked. And I will be honest, I kind of sort of really did stab Kale in the heart.
Okay.
To prove my shadow serving this.
So is he dead?
He is not.
No, okay. What
I am that good.
Yeah, that surgical.
That surgical.
Just missed a
yes.
little to the left.
I learned that I'm really good with blades and just a little, yeah.
So where is he now?
They said take him to the dungeon. Unfortunately, I couldn't get back in. But I have this cool little piece of paper that allows me to walk around here. I can't get back into the palace, though. So they have welcomed me as one who serves the shadows.
Does that only cover you?
Yes, it doesn't say +4.
Reading it doesn't say anything about your group or anything like that. It just says you specifically.
Because they really don't know I had a group. They knew I traveled with Kale and that I used him to get some life back. These are not friendly people here.
So I'm screwed.
I don't know how you're going to go through as a human.
And I can't morph back into anything.
Wasn't that your own Wasn't that your own self-imposed rule, or is this
No,
the
that's
actual
literally
2 times?
That was
literally a
he's
game
used
mechanic.
both of his.
Because I was the wolf and then I was the spider.
That's right.
I need a rest.
Yeah, I do too.
I was like, oh, if I can go to that inn, that would be great. No. So we need to find a way to Kale.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find a way to get him out. We need to find a way out of the city.
I mean, I know where the inn is to rest, but that doesn't help you.
No.
Conveniently,
Yes.
you guys are on, because of that 5th 20 that I've rolled,
God.
you are, you should be really happy you haven't gotten a fight yet. But because of that, you guys are actually on the right side of the street for where the inn is.
Okay.
And you could potentially, with stealth rolls and such, make it to the inn through the alleys.
Okay.
Based on your knowledge of how cities work, you would know that alleyways are typically interconnected. So there's a chance, but...
I was thinking, can I go into the inn like you do at a hotel and then sneak someone in, but you're only paying for like one room?
Yes. So, yeah, you have free reign to walk anywhere. You don't know the city or anything about how to get around, so it'd be very difficult for you. But you do know the exact layout of how to get to it in multiple ways from seeing the map.
And you can't
say if
morph
there's
into
a-
anything.
No, not at the moment.
Are you about
looking in my bag.
6'3" or so?
No, I'm just trying to see like how many
I think I
leaves
said, like,
do I have.
5'10".
Okay, yeah. Regardless.
Right. Yeah,
So
I
wrap
don't
your
think
legs
that's gonna
around
work.
her waist and then
Right,
lay
just like-
along the tail.
Just swing around
We're gonna
as a
Cirque du
tail.
Soleil all the way there.
Why does your tail have a face?
Why does your face have a
I
tail?
serve the shadows. What's your deal?
I ask you your business.
Yeah. That's the tail that responds like that. My God, we need more artists
No.
watching this because I want to see that created.
Anyway.
Oh my God. Oh.
Oh gosh, I
think-
guess let's do this the safe way.
I think for now,
Which this is May saying this. This is not right. No.
I think for now we should rest up and attempt to liberate Kale as best we can. And get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Get the kale out of here.
Anyway.
Okay, so the inn is distraction. Yes. Got it. All right.
Following you.
So yeah, we're just gonna try to.
Because while I don't typically sleep indoors, I don't think that would be great right now.
Sorry.
I guess
Gotta
I
turn the
really
mic down.
have to stealth.
I mean, I guess we don't really need to sleep. A short rest would do us, right?
Short rest would get us something back.
How long can you be
It needs at least an hour.
shadowed? How long can you keep that up though?
So my
Darkness.
darkness, unfortunately, I think it's only like 10 minutes.
You lose the darkness and you have to attempt to hide
Yeah,
while
because it's
doing
the
it.
concentration.
So you could
It's 10.
excuse me.
It's the darkness.
Good grief. You could attempt to hide, is what I said, and then you said something else, and I was
Oh, I
focusing on
realized I
trying not to
don't
cough in the
have to
mic.
hide. That's what I'm wondering is if I could go on and
You
like
don't.
he stealths,
That's true.
That way, plan B, if he gets caught, I'll be like, oh, I didn't know he was following me. I will take care of this ruffian type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are we gonna handcuff Chewbacca this?
Do I have manacles? I might.
You might.
Let me check on my.
Probably have
I
some
gotta
rope
dig
at
through
least.
all the leaves and stuff, but I think I do have manacles.
Could be a way to get me into the dungeon.
I do have manacles.
First off, I was just guessing. Second off, why? Never mind.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not. Yeah, I didn't even.
I've had these things for years.
bonkers. Oh, maze.
Put these on, but still try stealth. If this is our plan B. And I give
We
him.
get caught. I'm just like sneaking. My,
Jeez, these manacles were
Wrist-
6 pounds. Your hammer
wristband.
was what, 2 pounds? And these are 6 pounds.
They're the same weight as his sword, actually.
Jeez.
They're meant to like not really allow.
Oh, my
someone to
bag's so much lighter now.
They're
Whew.
not comfortable.
So just so I understand the scene we've set here,
Yes.
are these things that have actually transpired? Maze
I
has
am
pulled
giving
out
them
manacles and
manacles
handed
at
them
6
to
pounds.
Bryn, who is now holding them. That's as far as we've gotten.
Yes.
That's a thing.
I'm not putting them on him.
But that's a thing. That's
That
what
is
has
a
happened
thing
at this
that
moment.
I am
She's
handing.
presenting manacles.
Yes.
If we get caught, could I feasibly, like, just quickly slap them?
Oh yeah, they're they're like the clasp.
Yeah.
Not clasped shut. But
Although it doesn't say I have the key. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
It would be possible.
let's just find somewhere to rest. Well, this is our backup plan.
Yes.
Puts on
Keep
the
them with you.
manacles.
I figure I can go into the inn and purchase a room and try to sneak you in.
Like hopping through a window.
Yeah.
That's the game plan.
Yes. You can Melissa Etheridge. Come through my window.
Come
Through
through
my
my
window. Yeah.
Not a reference I get.
Me neither. Every reference. Always.
You know what? We got
Unless
it.
it's Lord of the Rings or Star Wars
okay.
or D&D
I
stuff,
get
it's
most
always
references.
My pun buddy got it.
yeah. Right. Yeah, you do. You do get most references.
All right, so that is the plan. I will go to the inn, directing him. I will not stealth because I'm not trying to bring attention to myself.
How are you choosing to travel? Like, what path are you choosing to take? The main streets, or are you going through the
Alley.
alleys? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Because otherwise, you guys are screwed. But good. All right. Because the guy that saw you previously has not found you. You can do that. You can travel through the thing, but you will have to make a stealth roll. And actually, Maze as well, just for
Just to do it?
one reason.
As not a spider, this is gonna suck.
All right, I officially remove my manacles.
Nice. Make sure you add. God damn it! Did you just roll a 1?
Ooh!
Did you too?
Slightly better. This is why I said I wasn't stealthy. Wait, that was just a straight up roll. Are we adding anything to this?
Can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm glad I'm just safely in the dungeon.
God.
My manacles are making a lot of noise.
Yeah, they are. You're not used to carrying them.
Yeah,
also
put on
add them
this
to your
mask
inventory.
and this collar.
But that's
It's already been done.
so in trying to carry these manacles in a way that keeps them hidden but still close enough to where you could snap them on, you bungle them up quite a bit, and there's a lot of noise that happens in this alleyway that is not dark anymore.
You roll another 20.
Yup.
Cool.
Oh, it rolled over. I went to do
Yeah.
the thing, but yeah. So that's 6. The moment that that all the noise happens of you dropping the manacles, a guard that had been walking past the alleyway turns and looks in. Ah, what are you doing down there?
It's called foreplay. Have you not heard of it before?
Human. And he draws his sword out and walks
I
in.
slapped them on.
And
You.
I reach in and grab my 1 ounce bottle of ink and just throw it in Bryn's face. In front of the guard. I'm just
The
emptying
guard-
my bag here.
The guard, keeping his weapon drawn, he just grabs you and pushes you up against the wall.
Me?
What's wrong with
Yeah,
this?
just by your collar. Just
I pull out my little
Face
piece
you
of
away.
paper.
Just do not, whatever you do.
he releases you and grabs it away from you. Alone. So he's like, he
I
looks
just
at
have a
it.
wicked smile on my face while staring at him.
What are you doing with this human?
I was
Hands you the
about to
paper
have,
back.
and of course a little necrotic damage shows up in my hands. I'm about to have a little fun with this slave.
This is not permitted here. And he sheaths the sword. How could you think torturing prisoners here in the open city is permitted?
I just arrived today. Where can I go to torture this thing?
Nowhere. This is not allowed. Outsiders.
Where is this allowed? It's allowed in my homeland.
Full rank.
You're so lucky. This grants you passage here for 3 days. No more. This is from today. You are free to go. You! And he grabs the manacles and pulls towards you. And did you clasp them or did you just put them on? Did you just rest them on your hands?
I guess I clasped them.
He did say he clamped them
Gave
on,
you that
but I don't know
opportunity,
if he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, yeah, absolutely. So
on that.
yeah, no, absolutely, that's fine. So he pulls on them, and they are tight to you, and he just drags you away.
No, is there like a
I do not
baggage
consent.
tag that I need to claim my human at a later date?
This is property of the queen now.
Oh, she'll have fun with that one.
Be gone from here. And
No,
they're gone now. They walked around the corner, unless you are resisting.
No.
Okay.
It doesn't seem wise.
I cannot hold on
Do you
to
have a
mint
letter
today.
in your pocket that lines out that you know your rights?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you need some butter.
I would imagine you have no rights in this city.
This is
As a
clearly
human.
illegal.
Okay.
Great.
So, to refrain from wasting time, you are now also going to be thrown into one of the dungeon cells. I could explain a
individualized?
multitude of things, however,
Would they have? Yeah, they would have patted him down.
you.
Quarterstaff.
Because I was like, man.
I have a big stick.
Well,
Yeah,
I was
your
hoping to
stick is
smuggle the
gonna be
sword
taken
in.
away.
And you're like, can you put this
You can't
somewhere?
smuggle in a 6-foot-long sword. It's not possible.
You know what? Technically, if he had
No,
another
Eric Cartman
shapeshift,
could.
he
No, it's
could've.
okay.
Yeah, he could have,
could've,
but
but
you
he
can't.
If it were equipped on him,
But if he had another
and then he
shapeshift, we
shapeshifted,
wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And then shapeshifted, this
he
great
can't
sword
do- I
would.
know.
It would go into
And
him.
then he
yeah.
would just go into the thing
Yeah.
and then just pop out, and there's
When
a
I
great
level
sword.
up, I am polymorphing your sword into a piece of cheese. Dang it. Okay.
So
Can you polymorph an inanimate
I don't think you can. It has to be a humanoid.
Maze,
object?
I know.
Maze through spectacular incompetence has actually managed to prove herself a better servant of the shadows.
Than she ever thought she would. Yeah, all of this like faking it has
yes.
turned into, oh yeah, no, you're on this side
Yeah,
now.
you're
She's
pretty
the
badass.
two prisoners.
We found the big bad, guys.
Yeah, it's true. Man,
Kang
bounty hunter
suspected
now.
it from the beginning. Oh man.
I'm in a cell. He's in a cell.
Yeah,
Are
so
they individualized
You've been taken
cells? Is it
in
a group cell?
you are in a separate cell from the other two. You are about to meet somebody, but you are in a separate cell. So you hear someone else being brought in. You hear another cell closing down the way from you. You are now alone in a cell, which could be for your benefit in this place. But you do have a cell to yourself. It's very, very small. There is not even any like kind of bedding space or bucket on the floor. It's just literally stone walls and a barred front. As you were put in, you are just tossed still in your manacles as well. They aren't removed. They just leave them on you. And I said that, and then I processed the thought, and you don't have the key. She does. So that's wonderful.
The guards don't have the key.
The guards don't even have the key either, so that's one
This
why
is
they wouldn't
very
take them off.
confusing.
So, yeah.
Apparently, you can escape them with dexterity or strength.
Yeah. But they toss you in. It's a rough landing, but you feel nothing weird about the space or anything like that, just that you are now imprisoned.
Is it like a wood door and a barred
It's
window?
it's full
or-
bars. It's straight up all the
Okay,
way,
so I can see
floor to
the
ceiling
other-
bars. You can see out. See is a relative term here. Sight is quite difficult for you in this space. It is, the whole space has been extremely dimly lit. This is like there's a candle lit at the end of a hallway that is pitch black, and you're kind of seeing what that can shine. you know,
Like, can't
that type of
can't even
reference.
see this kind
Like you could, like you would, like if you faced the right direction, you'd see that your hand like silhouetted past in front of your face, facing into like a corner. No, nothing. For a moment when you step in, when you're thrown in, you look into the corners, and through time of a couple minutes, you kind of get a little courage to check the corners, make sure nothing's in them. A couple small spiders, but nothing, no other beings. No windows or anything in this area. You have been taken underground, and you are now in a cell, fully manacled. Kalit Strats. After being tossed into the cell and still having that feeling of just something missing from yourself, you do actually still have your dagger, by the way. Like obnoxiously, because they never actually successfully found that. Oh, I was gonna check on, see if Bryn kept anything as well. Your staff is obviously gone.
Right.
You do have a dagger as well, and
I don't have that hidden. No, I don't really have that hidden.
well, conveniently, because you're wearing a cloak in the manner in which you were standing, of a natural one, the first one of the night, you were able to actually conceal it. So you actually have a small dagger at your back as well, which was very unexpected and could come in handy. But yeah, wow, that's, ugh, I don't even want to see that anymore. Flip that back over. But yeah, so yeah, beyond that though, like your staff has been taken away from you. You're not sure where, and yeah, so then to you, still having your knife but nothing else. You feel the presence of someone else in the room with you, sitting off in one corner silently. Are you going to address them in any way?
Well, actually,
or do anything else?
Part of my personality is when I was being trained, I was taught to just be the most annoying prisoner you possibly can.
So you hear whatever's about to happen.
So I'm just in it. I go, you bite your face to spite your nose. 17.5 years old.
He looked something up.
Worrying about my brother finding out. Where's the fun in doing what you're told? And then what's the other guy doing?
So you hear this.
I'm just picturing the Camelot scene from Monty Python.
It won't work. His lot don't let prisoners out.
Who's that? Who are you?
You see the very faintest light comes through the bars above. This is the darkest cell because it only has a small head-sized entry point to it for light.
And you said I do hear.
You hear
them.
Actually, you would hear this other voice as well.
So I'm up at the bars, just listening.
Yeah. What did you say?
So who are you?
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought you said, but I wanted to verify that because I started saying the light. So, so the light coming in, you kind of squint a little bit. A older human steps in, tall but definitely elderly, not in the sense of grandparent, but getting up there in years. White hair, long, kind of disheveled, streaks of darker gray in it. A long beard, but you see part of his mouth on this side is kind of closed off like this, and the other is in this kind of disturbing looking smile because of the way that the scar comes up. It kind of keeps him in this forever smiled state. Obviously, you wouldn't be happy to be here.
Have you had a stroke?
And you see a stroke of bad luck, maybe.
Yeah, me too.
You see on his right hand there's a ring that is made of like vines. It looks like small because it's a ring, but little twisted vines. He holds holds it up like this, almost in somewhat of a self-conscious state, but not really. Like a, like subconsciously you could be self-conscious. Something he kind of just puts his hand up and then almost kind of realizes it, brings the hand down. And then set inside of these vines, there is a large emerald that catches the small amount of light and reflects for a moment, just this green, just and gone. And he kind of looks at it. You're waking up. Good. What brings you in here?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. You see, I was just helping out a couple of my friends clear this forest of these drow spiders, and well, I went to sleep, and it's all a bit of a haze from there. It feels like a dream, but then again, I feel like I remember everything leading up to it. I don't know what actually brought me here, what put me in that trance-like state, but one thing led to another. I went into a portal, and then some tiefling that I trusted by mistake stabbed me in the heart, and well, now I'm here.
Interesting. Huh?
Tree boy.
It's Bryn, but
I know, but we're friends, right?
right. I suppose.
Bryn,
Halfgren?
is that you?
Yes. What are you doing here?
No, it can't be you. Not in this place. This is another one of their tricks.
No, trust me, that's Tree Boy. The way that he corrected me.
Persuasion, just for you, both of you.
Persuade the crazy guy.
Do I get
13.
advantage?
Yes.
It's a good thing. Well,
It's a good thing.
how's a 3 sound?
Still a good-
It's a good
Better
thing.
than what it
I had a
was
13.
before.
Hey, guess what I rolled? A 3.
That hard to say.
So,
20?
No, so well, I don't trust it, but I just,
What's not trusting it gonna do?
he wasn't supposed to come here.
Believe me, I didn't want to be here. I felt after he helped defend our home that I had no choice but to come after him and help him.
What happened?
Well, these spiders, this Dryder was laying waste to the forest.
I
A
know.
wide path.
I sought out the source of it, and it brought me in here, and I was overwhelmed.
You know how that goes.
Dark-armored, foul bastards. And you see the ring flash very slightly again as he just starts to get just mad about this scenario. Do you continue with anything?
And I could ask a question.
Yeah.
What brought you two together?
Look, I believe. Random chance.
Couple happenstances.
Although
That might be
it
a
was
story
a
for-
drow who did bring us together ultimately.
It's true. It's true. We have not seen this gentleman in quite some time.
Perhaps we shouldn't have trusted him.
Yeah.
Dura is fine.
Oh, so you know him?
He's from the Shadowed City. He's not from here.
I guess he would know.
Yeah. Dura is known by many of us in this area. I've not told you of him before, but he often brings strange tidings from farther off lands.
Well, we need a plan to get out of here. We've got someone on the outside, although we don't know if we can really trust her.
She said she tried to get in here already and was turned away.
Well, of course she said that, but guess who's in here? Not her.
Yes.
Guess who stabbed me in the heart?
She explained that that's what she felt she had to do. And I think I trust her for now.
Well, I don't.
I'm not the one that got stabbed. That's fair.
I'm thinking that it's up to just us. Halfgren,
Yes.
how long have you been here?
Oh, it's hard to tell in this foul place, but I believe it's been just a few days now. Almost a week. Shortly after Bryn left, I began to notice there was a darkness spreading through the forest. Things were dying. Traveled out to search for it, as I'd said, this source of this, what had sent this creature out here. I intended to go to Elven King and get his aid, but I felt I should track it further. I did not expect that Damascarania was this close to the surface. I had never ventured into the caves, but I always thought it was farther. It explains a lot of the darkness that has crept into the forest lately. And
Do you know the schedule? When do they feed you? Do they feed you? Or is this a new bliet?
if you can call it food.
Gruel, more like.
I don't even know what it is.
Gruel would be an upgrade.
Yes. I've suspected that it might have been some of the Lauda prisoners.
Do the guards have keys on them when they arrive?
Of course they do.
How many?
Typically there's some keeping watch close by, so just keep your planning low, but there's a shift of 2 and 2, I believe, from what I've gathered.
And the ones that always keep watch nearby, how many are there? Just 2?
2. It's a total of 2 all through here. There's usually just the 2 right here by the door, and then they move off and it's quiet for a while, and they come back, and then they shift. I don't know where they go, but there are only 2 at all times. They're quite a small window of not having any, such as now. Typically after they bring someone new in, they check over what belongings they've taken from them and disperse them, I believe. I couldn't get my ring though. Oh, bugger bit them back when they tried to remove it.
I think I might have a plan. It'll get us out of here. But we're gonna have to rest here a day.
What are you thinking?
I'm wounded, so that sounds good.
Well, in my training, I'm gonna drop my voice real deep. Well, in my training, turns out that paladins have an ability to convince creatures to do simple things for us. And after taking my oath, and after a couple of dreams that I've had, I've felt that I've achieved this ability to move as mist. So I think I can get us out. Does anyone have any way to protect ourselves once we get out?
Me and Halfgren should be able to shape into something.
Okay.
Aye.
So the plan is, when they come deliver our meals, one of the guards will be dropping their keys. When we hear the jingle of the keys on the floor, we'll need to make We'll need to make a concerted effort to all come out at the same time and overwhelm the two of them, as there are three of us.
Might be a little difficult with these. Jingle the manacles.
As it turns out, I do believe that when you change into different animal shapes, it might have an effect.
Yeah, keep going.
Probably.
I'll find out.
But like you're talking, take them out, then shape into something, or beforehand, I guess.
No. I'm talking. You shape into something that can fit through the hole, and then you come out the other side, ready to fight.
Yeah.
Afghan, how are you feeling?
Is this based on magic?
Yes.
There's a bit of a problem with that, unfortunately. Anything inside this door here, I can't activate it. Even this can barely do anything. Just glimmers from time to time now instead of doing what it's supposed to. And he focuses on it, trying to do something, and you see just a tiny little spark inside of the emerald again, but nothing beyond that. As soon as they threw me through these doors, I lost all of my powers. Otherwise, I'd have been out of here days ago. And he kicks the door itself. Just... Now, give me an idea, though. Can you do that spell of controlling things? Can you do that? Be a touch, or is it a ranged thing?
All they have to do is hear a single word.
It might be something. This cell here is one they use for the likes of us. Those that can use powers that they've seen. I don't know why they put you in the other cell, Bryn, but as far as I'm aware, that one's not the same as this one. No runes that I saw on it. But if your voice leaves the cell, it might have just enough to still seep in. As we might be onto something, Dragon.
Why do you think I've been singing?
He might have something here.
I'm waiting for them to get annoyed and confirm that they can hear me.
Like you're thinking. Oh, wily one, I like it.
And that's why it's in the paladin training.
Yep. Now, we'll break away from you two for a moment to come back to our lone tiefling who has allied herself with the shadow farther than she ever expected. You are alone in the alley. Your companion that you had anticipated remaining with you for some time has been taken away in chains. You've been informed and now have checked that you have 3 days total of time on this parchment. When it expires, you will no longer be welcome in the city. And that can lead to whatever it may lead to. You have a spot that you know of where you can stay, and the choices are up to you. You know where both of your companions have been taken, though you don't know the exact path.
Well, I just know they're not going anywhere. I'm going to get some tea and rest.
Because
Okay.
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
And enjoying the fact that my
very interesting.
backpack is like 6 pounds lighter.
It is exactly 6 pounds lighter. Weird how that works.
Please
so-
tell me that you took the money off of me and everything in my pouch.
Of course I robbed you.
Okay, good. Please tell me you robbed me.
Roll a
Oh, you need me to roll
d20.
for- okay.
Yeah.
Go for the big one. Why not? Ooh, look at that flash! Look at that flash! It is
All right,
a 20.
sweet. You did. You looted Kale, and you have all of the possessions that he had in pouches
So he had,
and such
the
of that
gold
nature.
and all those little
Yeah,
pouches,
gold,
gems, and-
gemstones, all of that. For the time being, keep.
I'll leave it on
We'll
him.
pretend that I have it.
For the
but
time
there's-
being,
It's
keep it
just
in your
easier.
stats, but
Yeah.
you
Just know that I
have
took it.
it. So if for some reason you wanted to spend like 300 gold or more, you technically could, and then
could.
you'd have to have a discussion player to player. But
There's also some rubies in there.
yeah, there's
Yeah, you can see
rubies.
the gems and stuff, yeah.
Might be magical. We haven't taken it to anyone who can actually identify them as
It's
such.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody's tried to check that.
Yeah. That's why I was like,
but yeah,
Yeah, Maze is gonna just tea and rest. I guess long rest. Then, so I can
crumpets.
get tea and crumpets.
okay.
Crumpets precious.
So
How much would the inn be?
the inn you find is going to cost you 10 gold.
Okay.
It is not a cheap place to stay.
I was gonna say
gonna
Not
be
at all.
some
That's the
Comfy
point.
stuff. I mean, the city.
Also,
is
you have a
that's the foreigner rate.
yeah, you have a piece of paper that says you're allowed to exist in the city. You don't have a piece of paper that says, "Hey, I'm one of you."
Hey, I'm royalty.
So you've been
You don't
charged
wanna say
10
that,
gold
they'll
for
turn
your
20.
for your
That's
stay.
true.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Terry
Oh,
that
there it
doesn't
is.
know better.
And yeah.
10 gold. Okay.
So you get a room that is small. It's well furnished. A chair, a small table, the bed is nice. Everything's built well. It's just that's it. You've got a little mirror with the wash basin scenario kind of thing. Nothing else in there. Are you going to do anything specific or just bed down for the evening?
Probably just bed down for the evening.
Okay. As you fall asleep, thinking on the day, literally the day that it has been, time is such a fleeting thing. You start to dream of spiders surrounding you. At first you think, oh, this will be the same dream as last time. They'll dance for me.
party.
But there seems to be more and more and more, and they're all just watching you. Just staring as you sit there looking around at them. The ones closest to your feet begin to slowly walk forwards, locked onto you. You see their fangs dripping with venom. They start to just crawl up you, and your legs are now covered in these spiders, black, shining spiders. You feel them crawling all across your whole body now, up to where only your face is left, as if you were sinking into water. The spiders, these are all smaller ones. They begin to start crawling into your mouth and filling you up. And suddenly there is a just flash of white light, just, and they all fade away as smoke. And you are now in this space. Everything is white. There's no chairs or anything at this moment. There's no windows. It's not a room. It's just whiteness everywhere around you. It's glaringly bright. You kind of wince back from it, and then suddenly you feel this sense of calm. And walking forward, just out of the air, is a tall, white-robed, white-haired, beautiful elven man. Maze, what have you done?
I have gotten into some deep stuff.
I am aware.
I panicked. I didn't know what to do. There's so many people, and I'm not used to people. I don't know what people are.
Child. And then suddenly a chair, a comfortable armchair-styled chair, appears behind you and behind him. Both sit down, a little table rises up. All of this in like a white ivory and white padded structure. There are 2 teacups on the table that are white porcelain, and a small little stack of sugar cubes. The tea in here is perfectly clear. It almost looks like water, but you can smell more of an aroma to it. Kind of like a citrusy tea. It's very, very good, very refreshing. Kind of calms you down a little bit. Now, what will you be doing?
Well, I know we need to get the other 2 at least out of there for our cause, and I just keep messing things up. I mean, I could stay here for a few days, and they serve the shadows, but I don't know if it's the right people to align ourselves with.
No. We are the light, child. Sometimes we must do dark things to accomplish our goals. However, you see here, there's no shadows. And you see, there are literally no shadows. Like, nothing casts a shadow in this space. It is
like
all
Bruce
perfectly
Almighty
lit
God.
all the way around, very much so. Shadows, someday we will deal with that. But for now, you must find a way in this space to use your abilities to free your friends, aid them. They are already working on something. You may arrive just in time to finish it out for them. Be careful though. This is not a pleasant place. It is all darkness here. This is why I cannot come as myself here. I can only reach to you in these dreams. As you've seen already, the darkness in this space, it seeks to overwhelm you. Your darkness is created by light. It is not of the darkness. Remember that, Maze, and rest easy this evening. And he kind of just brushes the hair out of your face, and the rest of your dreams are of little rabbits running through a pink flowered field on a clear hillside, waterfall running over the edge of the mountains. Sun is shining bright in a nice blue sky. It's peaceful. You see the edges of some green trees growing a little ways off in the distance. And you awake the next morning, refreshed, energized, nervous, but confident at the same time. And that's where we'll pick up next week. So, about to break out of prison, potentially. Try the attendant
break.
and potentially trying to break into a prison.
The
We'll
layout of
see
it tattooed on me.
how this works.
First
Right?
more
Yeah.
tea. First more
It's
tea.
like as you were going, you were just like magically etching it into your chest.
Yeah.
That would be a pretty sick spell. Like
Ugh.
sick in like a kind of way, but also kind of cool.
Pulling
So,
a Drax and just
It's just
doing it on
shopping.
there.
It's not
Right? Yeah.
expo marketing.
Anywho, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys being here. Dizzy Tuna, you will either be receiving an email or a message on Twitch. So keep your eyes open for both. The new way that we're running the giveaways doesn't actually give me an email. Don't post it in the chat. Trust me, you don't want to do that. These are mostly great people here, but just in case somebody snuck in at the last moment. Just,
In case there's a maze
So
somewhere in the chat room.
I will likely be messaging on Twitch, but I might email. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But you'll get a message on one of those two platforms very, very shortly. And I'll just get your email and then send the dice out to you by the end of the week. So also, you're on Discord, apparently, according to Dragonclaw. So you might get a message there. Just watch all your message spots. Anyway, so thanks again, everybody, for watching.
Mail.
Congratulations, Dizzy, for
Text
winning the dice this week. Next week, we will have another dice giveaway live during the stream for the next 2 weeks, actually. And then on the 3rd, we'll switch it up to something else that is equally cool. that is a little more unique as well. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Adios.
Bye.